Caitlin Clark shows concerning signs versus Kelsey Plum during USA camp debut, per National Reporter. Caitlin Clark shows concerning signs versus Kelsey Plum during USA camp debut, per National Reporter. Until now, fans have only heard that Caitlin Clark was back to full fitness. Now they have finally seen it. It feels nice to finally be back to 100%, Clark told reporters on Friday. I did everything I could to try to be able to come back and be able to play for my team, but it just didn't really work. The Indiana Fever star is coming from multiple soft injuries, culminating in the worst ankle sprain. After her long road to recovery, she was back on the court at her senior team USA camp debut with the best players in the league. While her fitness doesn't look like an issue, she is still acclimatizing to her return. Obviously, wanting to knock off a little bit of rust and get my lungs back, but my body feels really good, Clark said. Clark has spent the offseason rehabbing and even participating in the Annika Pro-Am golf exhibition last month. As she returned to basketball court after almost 6 months against players who know her game, there were bound to be a few kinks in her armor, especially going up against Kelsey Plum. I think defensively, anyone who I think watches Caitlin knows that's an area that needs to improve. And so watching her against Kelsey Plum was funny, just because this is something we know. Like anybody who watches basketball knows that that's a part of Caitlin's game that stands to improve. So yeah, watching her go up against Kelsey while still knowing that she has this rust to shake off was a bit telling. Annika Pro-Am said on Indy Star's Fever Insider show, Clark had a defensive bright moment in one of the Team USA release videos where she clamped down on the practice player, leading to a turnover. However, returning to the same consistency will take some time. As Pro-Am mentioned, Clark is not the best offensive guard. As a rookie, she had the 67th best offensive rating of 106.6 among guards, and in the 13 games this season, she was better at 99.5. However, that improvement was only on paper and likely due to a small sample size. She hasn't really received much time to improve on that aspect of her game, as the priority has been to get back to full fitness. Going up against Plum, who had a stellar WNBA CISO, and averaging 19.5 points and 5.7 assists, her best number since 2022, Clark was always playing catch-up, while her fitness issues will be taken into consideration. If her defense still falls short by the time the 2026 World Cup rolls around, it could play against her. The competition is stiff with Paige Buchers and Veronica Burton also vying for a position in the squad. Pro-Am maintained that her offense was still very sharp. That shot of her that we're also familiar with was very much still there. Her speed was coming back, which I thought stood out. Obviously, her timing on passing was still impressive, she said. From clips on social media, fans saw Clark take that trademark transition 3 with ease, almost soothing their soul. We saw the Aaliyah Boston Caitlin Clark connection as well. She's a terrific player, really locked in and focused. Head coach Kara Lawson said of Clark, I thought she looked good on both ends, and I thought that she hadn't missed a beat. While some parts of her game need a reminder, they will be back soon as Clark continues her return to competitive basketball. Fans will get to see Clark make her competitive return at the World Cup qualifying tournament in March, but will Paige Buchers become an obstacle? Unlikely, says Annika Pro-Am. Caitlin Clark and Paige Buchers could play together at the 2026 World Cup. 6 point guard were called up in the 18-woman roster for the December camp that included veterans Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, and Jackie Young, along with the youth of Clark, Paige Buchers, and Veronica Burton. In the final 12-woman roster for the World Cup in September, Team USA will likely choose 4 out of the 6. The veterans are likely a lock, unless Sue Bird decides to completely change the direction of the national team. It has historically kept veterans in play and valued experience, like at the 2024 Olympics, when Clark's exclusion was justified by the lack of top-level experience. Buchers, Clark, and Burton seem to be fighting for one spot, but it's not quite the case. Paige Buchers is a very different point guard to Caitlin Clark. She is a score-first guard and can play in tandem with another primary initiator like Clark. There's a possibility there will be 5 point guards on the roster, but Buchers wouldn't play as a traditional point. Seeing her, Caitlin Clark, and Paige on each other, Pro-Am said, I don't think it's a matter of one versus the other. You're watching, kind of evaluating how these two players are going to operate together one day. And so I think that was more exciting than telling it. In the immediate future, this might not happen. However, Bird has already started planning for the 2028 World Cup, when Gray and Young will likely be absent. If Lawson and company figure out to play Buchers and Clark together, the team will be a cheat code. The talent is outrageous. This squad can have Aaliyah Boston, Rick Kia-Jackson, Clark, Buchers, and Angel Reese, with Kiki Iriefin and Sonia Citron also in the mix.